Okay, so imagine this. You have the National Institutes of Health, this massive agency, doing all this groundbreaking research.
Right.
And they need help with the paperwork.
Yeah.
But it's not just like a little bit of help. We're talking like a huge support contract.
Yeah.
And they put out something called a Sources Sought Notice for this BPSS IV contract.
Okay.
Which is kind of their way of,
Right.
testing the waters before they make a formal big request.
It's like putting out feelers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a really fascinating glimpse into, how a giant organization like the NIH operates. They're essentially saying, hey, world, we need some serious talent.
Yeah.
And we want to see who's out there and what you can bring to the table.
It's like a giant talent search.
It is.
So our deep dive today is all about decoding this Sources Sought Notice.
Okay.
We're going to see what kind of work the NIH needs, what it reveals about their priorities, and maybe even uncover some hidden challenges that they're facing along the way.
Think of us as your guides to this complex world of government contracting.
I like that.
We'll help you understand the jargon. Yeah. We'll connect the dots.
Yeah.
And hopefully leave you with some aha moments.
I'm ready for those aha moments. So first things first, what is this BPSS IV thing?
Yeah.
It sounds kind of like something out of a spy movie.
I know, right? The name itself.
Yeah.
Business and Professional Support Services fee.
Yeah.
Doesn't exactly scream excitement, does it?
No, not real.
But essentially, it's a massive umbrella contract.
Right.
For all sorts of behind-the-scenes work that the NIH needs to function.
So we're not talking about, like, scientists in lab coats here?
Not directly, no.
Okay.
We're talking about financial analysts, business solution experts, acquisition, support, even HR folks.
Wow. So
think of it as the engine room of the NIH, keeping everything running smoothly so the scientists can focus on research.
So the scientists don't have to worry about the budget or the, ordering paperclip.
They can focus on curing cancer and all the important stuff.
That makes sense because I can't imagine trying to cure cancer and manage a budget at the same time. It would make my head spin.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, and the interesting thing about this type of contract, it's called an IDIQ, right?
Yeah.
Or indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity.
Indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is a mouthful.
Yeah, and what it means is it gives the government a lot of flexibility.
Okay, so flexibility how?
Well, it means the NIH can order specific services as needed over the life of the contract without having to go through a whole new bidding process each time.
I see.
So they can be like, oh, we need some more help with financial analysis this year.
Yeah.
Boom, they can just order it up.
Got it.
It's good for the contractor, too, because it opens the door for long-term work and a potentially lucrative partnership.
So it's kind of a win-win.
It is a win-win.
Okay, so we've got lots of different services, long-term potential.
Yep.
Starting to sound pretty intriguing.
It is.
But what are they actually looking for help with?
Right.
The document lists a whole bunch of capabilities.
Yeah, it does.
It's a long list.
Some of them are pretty standard, for a large organization.
Okay.
Financial analysis, business solutions, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then there are some that I think give us a peek into the specific challenges that the NIH might be facing.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so for instance, they need help with acquisition lifecycle support.
Acquisition lifecycle support.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Well, it basically means managing the entire process of awarding grants and contracts for research projects.
So all the paperwork, basically.
All the paperwork, all the legality.
Oh, that sounds complicated.
It is.
So much paperwork.
It's crucial, though, to ensure that taxpayer dollars are being used efficiently and effectively.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's business process improvement.
Okay.
And organizational assessment.
So making the NIH run more smoothly.
Exactly.
I bet there are some stories there.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Think about it. The NIH is this massive bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Thousands of employees. Multiple research centers. A complex web of regulations. Streamlining processes. Identifying areas for improvement.
Yeah.
It's a constant challenge.
It must be.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. So what else?
They also need communication and training support.
So
Yeah.
Even brilliant scientists need to be trained on new equipment or procedures, right?
Absolutely. And think about communicating complex research findings to the public, to policymakers.
Right.
It requires a whole different skill set.
It does.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it gets interesting.
Oh.
I would love to see some of those training materials. It's like how to handle a pipette for Nobel Prize winners.
Right.
Or like...
advanced grant writing for dummies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I bet there are some gems in there.
I'm sure there are.
Okay, so we've got training in communication.
Uh-huh.
What else?
Program planning and management servicer.
Program planning.
Yeah.
And management.
These are the folks who make sure that research projects stay on track, meet deadlines, achieve their goals.
So they're like the project managers of the science world.
They're the unsung heroes of scientific progress.
That's true, because science is all about meticulous planning.
Yeah.
And execution.
Absolutely.
And then there's policy development, implementation, and administration.
Yes. The policy side of things.
Yeah.
Think about all the rules and regulations surrounding medical research.
That's a lot.
It is ethical considerations, data privacy,
right?
Safety protocols. Someone needs to navigate that complex landscape.
For sure.
And make sure the NIH is operating by the book. It's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
Especially given the high stakes involved. Okay. And then we get to like the more technical stuff.
Okay.
System integration work and center of excellence support.
Yeah. This hints at the complexity of their IT infrastructure.
Okay.
Think about the massive amounts of data generated by research projects.
Right.
The need to analyze it, share it, securely integrate different systems.
Yeah.
The NIH is constantly pushing the boundaries
Right.
of science and technology, which demands robust IT support.
It's mind-boggling.
It is.
To think about all the data and all the moving parts.
Yeah.
And then you haven't even touched on human resources.
Of course, even scientists need HR.
They do.
The NIH is constantly recruiting top talent.
Yeah.
Managing benefits, ensuring a diverse and inclusive workforce.
Yeah. That's it.
It's all part of the BPSS IV package.
Huge undertaking.
It is.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good handle on the types of work involved. But this, sources sought notice, also mentions specific locations.
Okay.
Primarily the Bethesda, Maryland area, which makes sense.
Right. Bethesda is the NIH's headquarters,
Yes.
after all. But here's where it gets interesting.
Right.
They also mention Baltimore, Montana, and North Carolina.
Montana and North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
It is.
Are they setting up like secret labs in the mountains or something?
Maybe.
That's so interesting.
It definitely raises questions.
Yeah.
Perhaps they have, specific research facilities or initiatives in those locations.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe they're partnering with universities or other institutions.
Interesting.
We don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something to think about.
It's like a little mystery tucked into this document.
It is.
And speaking of time, they mentioned an anticipated period of performance of 5 years.
5 years. Wow.
That's a pretty long commitment.
It is. 5 years is significant in government contracting.
Really?
It is. It suggests that they're looking for a long-term partner, someone who can really dig in and help them achieve their strategic goals.
Right.
It also provides stability for the contractor who wins the bid.
Okay.
They're not just jumping in for a quick project.
Yeah.
They're committing to a relationship.
They're in it for the long haul.
They are.
Well, let's hope they find a contractor who can get things done in 5 years.
Yeah, hopefully a little faster than some government projects I could mention.
Right. Some of those go on forever.
They do.
Okay, so we've covered like the what and the where. Now let's talk about the who.
Okay.
Who are they hoping will step up and take on this massive task?
Well, this is where things get interesting again.
Okay.
The document specifically asks about different types of small businesses.
Small businesses?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're looking for information on whether potential contractors are hub zone small businesses.
Hub zone.
Yeah. Service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses, 8A small businesses, veteran-owned small businesses, woman-owned small businesses.
Gotcha.
Or small disadvantaged businesses.
So they're really looking for a diverse group of bidders?
Absolutely.
So it's not just about finding the biggest company with the most experience?
Not necessarily. No, the government has policies in place to promote diversity and small business participation in federal contracting.
Right.
So by specifically asking about these categories, they're signaling a commitment to supporting these types of businesses.
So it sounds like they're trying to level the playing field a bit.
They are.
I like that. Okay. But beyond just checking boxes, what does this response section tell us about what the NIH is really looking for in a contractor?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
They want Clear and convincing documentation of the ability to provide the services.
Clear and convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're not just looking for someone who can talk the talk.
Yeah.
They want evidence, concrete examples of prior completed government contracts.
So experience really matters in this world.
Experience matters a lot.
Okay. And they also want information on the spectrum of services supported.
Right.
So they're not looking for like a one-trick pony.
Exactly.
Right.
They need a versatile contractor.
Yeah.
One who can handle a wide range of tasks and adapt to changing needs.
So someone who can wear many hats.
Wear many hats, exactly.
So this response section really gives us a glimpse into the challenges of government contracting.
It does.
It's all about accountability,
Mm-hmm.
transparency,
Yeah.
and ensuring that taxpayer dollars are well spent.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Right.
The government has a responsibility to be good stewards of public funds.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a contractor who can not only deliver results,
Mm-hmm.
but also demonstrate how they're doing it efficiently and ethically.
Yeah.
It's a big responsibility.
A huge responsibility.
It is.
And we've only just begun to scratch the surface of what this sources sought notice reveals.
Yeah, there's a lot more to unpack here.
There is.
So much more to learn.
So what will we uncover next?
Well, let's take a short break.
Okay.
And then we'll dive even deeper into the implications of this document
Yeah.
and what it tells us about the NIH's priorities and challenges.
Sounds good.
All right.
Let's take a break.
Mm.
We were just talking about how the NIH is specifically looking for the different types of small businesses for this contract.
Right.
And it really seems like they're making a conscious effort to be inclusive.
It's a smart move, really, you know?
Yeah.
A diverse pool of bidders. It brings fresh ideas, innovative approaches, broader range of experiences to the table, you know?
Sure.
It's a win-win for the NIH and for the small businesses
Right.
who get a chance to contribute to such important work.
Yeah, and it's kind of inspiring, actually.
Yeah.
It's not just about the bottom line. You know?
It's not just about the money.
Yeah, it's about creating opportunities and fostering a more equitable playing field.
Absolutely.
So, but let's zoom out a bit.
Okay.
We've talked about what the NIH needs,
Mm-hmm.
where they need it,
Right.
who they're looking for.
Yep.
What does this all tell us about the bigger picture?
Okay.
Like, what are the underlying priorities and challenges
Right.
that this sources sought notice is hinting at?
You're asking the right questions.
Perfect.
And I think one of the biggest takeaways here
Yeah.
is the sheer breadth of services they're seeking.
Right.
This BPSIV contract,
Yeah.
it's clearly intended to be a one-stop shop
Go.
for a vast range of business and professional needs.
So they're looking for someone who can do a lot.
A lot. It's almost as if they're saying,
Yeah.
we need help with practically everything.
Yeah, I guess running a massive research organization was
Right.
a bit more complicated than your average office job.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
The NIH is funding thousands of research projects across the country, dealing with mountains of data, navigating complex regulations, managing a workforce of brilliant minds.
Yeah.
It's a logistical and administrative juggernaut.
That sounds overwhelming.
It is.
So by seeking out a contractor who can handle all these different areas, are they essentially admitting that they're stretched too thin?
It's certainly possible.
Like they're trying to juggle too many balls at once?
Yeah, the NIH has an ambitious mission.
Yeah.
And they're constantly pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge.
Right.
But even with the brightest minds in the world, there are limits to what an organization can handle internally.
Yeah.
And I think this sources sought notice suggests that they're recognizing those limits and seeking external expertise to fill the gaps.
It's like they're saying, we're awesome at science.
Right.
But maybe not so awesome at paperwork and logistics.
Yeah.
We need help.
Exactly. And there's no shame in that.
No, of course not.
By outsourcing these support functions, they can free up their internal resources to focus on what they do best.
Right.
Research and innovation.
That's what they're known for.
Exactly.
So it's a smart strategy, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Instead of trying to be a jack of all trades,
Right.
they're recognizing their core competencies
Yeah.
and seeking partners who can excel in other areas. It's like building a dream team for scientific progress.
Yeah.
Each player bringing their unique skills to the table.
I like that analogy.
You too.
And I think it speaks to a broader trend in government, a shift away from siloed operations towards more collaborative, integrated approaches.
Interesting.
The NIH isn't just looking for a bunch of individual contractors to handle specific tasks.
Right.
They're looking for a partner who can understand their overall mission and help them achieve it more efficiently and effectively.
So it's really about a long-term partnership.
It is.
More than just filling a specific need. It makes sense because if you have a bunch of different contractors working in isolation, things can get messy.
It can get very messy.
Right. Communication breakdowns, duplicated efforts.
Yeah. Conflicting priorities.
Right. It's a recipe for disaster.
It is.
So by bringing everything under one umbrella contract,
right,
they can streamline operations, improve coordination, ensure consistency across all their support functions.
It's about creating a more cohesive and agile organization.
So this BPSS IV contract is more than just about checking boxes.
It's more than that.
And filling gaps.
It is.
It's about setting the stage for future growth and innovation.
That's a very insightful observation.
Thank you.
By investing in their infrastructure and support systems, they're creating a foundation for breakthroughs that we can't even imagine yet.
Wow.
It's about building a more responsive and resilient organization that can adapt to the ever-changing landscape of scientific research.
It's exciting to think about all the potential discoveries
it is
that might emerge from this behind-the-scenes work.
It really is.
It's a reminder that progress in any field relies on a strong support system.
Absolutely. And I think this deep dive has given us a unique appreciation for the complexity and importance of that support system.
For sure.
Within a massive government agency like the NIH.
You know, it's making me think about all the other government agencies out there
right,
working behind the scenes to keep our country running.
Yeah, they all have their own sources sought notices, mountains of paperwork, logistical challenges.
For sure.
It's a whole world.
And yet it's a world we rarely get to see.
We don't.
Right.
We don't.
But it's a world that impacts our lives in countless ways.
Absolutely.
From the food we eat to the air we breathe. Government agencies play a crucial role in ensuring our safety, well-being, and progress as a society. I think we tend to take those things for granted sometimes.
I think so, too.
We focus on the headlines, the big announcements.
The flashy breakthroughs.
Yeah, the flashy breakthroughs.
But it's important to remember all the hard work and dedication happening behind the scenes, keeping the wheels turning.
Keeping the lights on.
Exactly.
Well said. And perhaps this deep dive has even sparked some interest in exploring career paths in government contracting.
Maybe.
Or public service.
It's a rewarding field.
Yeah.
With endless possibilities to make a difference.
For sure.
You could be the unsung hero who helps facilitate the next medical breakthrough. Or contributes to a major scientific discovery.
That would be amazing.
It would be.
It's definitely food for thought.
It is.
We've unpacked a lot today.
We have.
From the intricacies of government contracting to the vast scope of the NIH's mission.
It's a big mission.
It is.
Yeah.
But before we wrap things up, I have one more question for you.
Sorry.
And for our listeners.
Okay, shoot.
So we've talked a lot about what the NIH is looking for in a contractor.
We have.
But if you were bidding on this BPSS IV contract, what unique skills or experience would you bring to the table?
Oh, that's a good one.
And what kind of impact could you make
on
the future of health and science?
That's a fantastic question.
I'm trying.
It encourages our listeners to go beyond simply absorbing information. And to actively consider how they could contribute to this important work.
Exactly. Maybe someone out there has the perfect blend of business acumen and scientific knowledge to help the NIH achieve its goals.
Exactly.
Or maybe they have a passion for public service and a desire to make a real difference in the world.
It could be you out there listening.
It could be.
Yeah.
Perhaps they have experience in data analytics, project management, or strategic planning.
It could be any number of things.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
They are.
This Sources Sought Notice is just the beginning.
Of a much larger story.
Right.
And who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe one of our listeners will be part of writing the next chapter.
That's a great note to end on.
It is.
The future of health and science.
Yeah.
It's in all of our hands.
It really is.
And by staying informed, engaged, and perhaps even getting involved, we can all contribute to a brighter position tomorrow.
I couldn't agree more.
Good.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into this topic with you today.
Likewise.
So, we've been talking about how this Sources Sought Notice is like a window into the NIH's, needs and priorities.
Yeah.
But it also got me thinking about something that wasn't explicitly mentioned, the importance of security.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up
Right.
in the details of budgets and contracts.
Right, just the day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're talking about an organization
Mm-hmm.
that deals with incredibly sensitive information.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Cutting-edge research patient data.
National security implications.
Right.
The stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Any contractor working with the NIH
Yeah.
would have to meet some serious security standards.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm imagining top secret clearance levels,
Right.
background checks,
Uh-huh.
maybe even fingerprint scanners at the entrance.
Yeah, you're not far off.
Right.
There'd be stringent requirements for personnel security,
Okay.
information handling, data protection,
Mm-hmm.
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you can't mess around with that stuff.
No, you can't.
And it's not just about protecting the NIH's interests either, right?
Yeah, no.
It's about safeguarding public health
Right.
and national security as a whole.
Absolutely. It's a big responsibility.
It is. It really makes you realize the weight of responsibility that comes with this kind of work.
For sure.
I mean, we're not just talking about crunching numbers or organizing files.
No, it's serious business.
The people who end up working on this contract will be playing a vital role in protecting our nation's well-being.
Absolutely. They're unsung heroes in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Behind the scenes protecting us all.
Right. And a contractor might be helping to streamline grant applications.
Right.
But that efficiency could ultimately enable a research team to make a life-saving breakthrough.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Yeah, it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
And every link is crucial.
Every link matters.
I'm starting to see this sources sought notice in a whole new light.
Yeah.
It's not just a dry bureaucratic document.
It's more than that.
It's a glimpse into a world where science,
right,
policy, and national security intersect.
Absolutely. It all comes together.
Yeah, and it's a call to action for anyone who wants to make a real difference.
Right.
We've talked about the skills and experience the NIH is looking for, but it's also about passion.
Yes.
Dedication and a commitment to something bigger than yourself.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Listening to you talk about it, I'm starting to feel inspired.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe one of our listeners will be the one to step up.
Maybe.
And help the NIH achieve its ambitious goals.
Right.
Maybe they'll be the unsung hero behind the next medical breakthrough.
That would be amazing.
It would be.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of this kind of work.
Yeah.
You never know what impact you might have.
It's true.
It's about contributing your talents to something that truly matters.
Absolutely.
And that's a powerful feeling.
It is.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We've gone from decoding a sources sought notice to contemplating the future of health and science.
Yeah.
And maybe even inspiring someone to pursue a new career path.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has.
Yeah, and hopefully our listeners have gained a deeper understanding of the complex world of government contracting, the vital role the NIH plays in advancing scientific knowledge, and the incredible opportunities that exist for those who want to make a difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we leave you with this final thought.
All right, I'm listening.
Never underestimate the power of behind-the-scenes work.
That's so true.
The people who keep things running smoothly.
Yeah.
The ones who support the big ideas, make the impossible possible.
Right.
They're the ones who truly change the world.
They really are.
And remember, the future of health and science is in all of our hands.
Absolutely.
By staying curious, informed, and engaged, we can all contribute to a brighter tomorrow.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions.
Couldn't agree more.